So I'm James Merrills. I'm the president and the team captain of SHU Karting Society, and people can join us for just £3.
And I'm Amelia Hentfrey. I'm this fundraiser for Hallam Cheer and Dance. You can join the society during the first semester, during tryouts. We have 4 competition teams and 1 recreational team that train weekly. And we go to competitions and all that around the UK when they're on.
So both your societies have been fundraising. Can you tell me what societies have been involved?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. So how this all started was I think I sent messages to about 52 committee members on, like 52 different societies, and a bunch of them got back to me. We were just trying to organise something for Calm, a little fundraiser that a few of my members came to me and said, look, we'd like to do something for Calm. So at the moment, I think there's 9 or 10 of us. We've got Hallam Cheer Dance, the SHU Karting, obviously, the Fashion Society, they're very involved, Equestrian, the Knitting Society, Korfball, Lacrosse. There's a whole bunch of societies involved.
Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity. As soon as we saw it as a society, we thought, well, it's the best thing that we can do at the moment. Usually when we're back at uni, you can communicate with these type of people when you meet them on either nights out or on campus. And as a society, we really wanted to get involved because it's going to give that sense of community that we can't really get when we're in lockdown as well. So yeah, we want to say thank you to James for organising it majority, but we would say it's an amazing opportunity for all societies to get involved.
I just have to put in there, it's not just me, it's a few other people involved. I don't want to take all the credit.
Can you tell us about the charity and why you chose to fundraise for them?
Yeah, so a few of my members, a couple of members, Chris Howarth and Cam Wright, reached out to me, and they're really passionate about this topic, and they said, we'd like to do something for Calm, a fundraiser. Can the society organise something? So the 3 of us have kind of been joining forces to just get as many people on board as we could. The philosophy really is just the more societies and the more people are involved, the more money we'll raise for a good cause, essentially.
And could you just tell us a bit about Calm, what they do as a charity?
Yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I know, it's your turn, go ahead.
All right, that's fine. So it's a campaign against against living miserably. So it's an acronym of the name of the actual word Calm, and they mainly work with suicide prevention, sort of helplines and stuff like that, and also spreading awareness about people's mental health as well, mainly between the adolescence age, so sort of our generation, from about 16 to about 45 plus. So I think it's a really important thing to take into account, that it's not just either ends of the spectrum of age, it's everyone that has mental health, and it can vary between person to person, and some people can suffer silently, which that's what it gives it that sort of anonymity. Well, I can't even say that word. Anonymity? I can't even say it. But you know what I mean? That sort of anonymous helpline that you can get that help if you do feel like you need it.
Okay, so when it comes to your fundraising, what have the participants had to do?
The sort of baseline premise is that every day this week, we've encouraged our members and other societies members to just do one thing a day that makes them happy, and post it on social media, tag @CalmZone. People can still get involved. I'm not sure when this is going out, but there's still 3 days left of the fundraiser. So yeah, it's just about doing stuff that you enjoy, whatever it is. You can do anything as long as it makes you happy. Do it, put it on social media @CalmZone, and that's how we're raising awareness.
Nice. What's been your highlights so far? I know obviously the week's not ended, but what's your favourite part so?
For me personally, for our society, we had a wellness social yesterday. Now we usually would have a social every Wednesday anyway, but it actually became kind of like a mini therapy session for everyone, which was really nice. Just to have a catch up with people that we might not have seen prior to Christmas. And also it was like sort of like lifting up people. So in cheer we have this thing called lift ups. So you'll anonymously say like, oh, Emily, for example, has been absolutely amazing during training. She's been really good support for our stunt group. So we did like that during the session. So you knew the people that were around you saying it, but it was nice to just have a bit of gratitude for the day. So, but I feel like everyone is looking forward to, we're doing a big combined social, which is being organised by SHU Fashion, isn't it? That's organising it. Yeah, so I think everyone's looking forward to that as a big finisher for the end of the week. Just have a massive quiz and almost like TAV but virtual.
Yeah, that's probably one of the highlights for me as well, is just the amount of engagement and the involvement that other societies and their members have had. Like, we've been really taken aback by just how many people got on board. We thought it was going to be quite a small thing. So, you know, our original fundraising target was £200. We've still got 3 days to go, and we're sitting at £640 at the moment. Aiming for, we've got a couple of big events coming up in the next sort of 48 hours. And you know, we're going to push for £1,000, but that's the highlight for us. It's just how, I don't know, it's just refreshing how many people have got on board with it.
Wow, that is amazing. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
So for those who might want to fundraise themselves, what advice and ideas could you offer?
Just get people involved. That's how it works with us. We've done a few fundraisers before, and we find that more different organisations, whether it's a third-party company, a different charity, students, societies, just get people involved, bounce ideas around between people, and you know, the donations just come in. It kind of scales with how many people are involved, basically. Just get people talking about it.
I would say get creative as well. Like at the moment, with not being able to meet up with anyone, it really tests you to think of new ideas to do. A few months ago, we did a race to Telford. It's like a sort of like a communal race, because a lot of people were doing that. And we found a society not only to help with fitness, mental health, but it also gives that bit of competition between people to see who's going to get the most miles in that week, or etc. But same with this, it's not really competitive, but it's more of the engagement, like James says. It's like you really get that sort of feel that people are really wanting to get involved in these sort of things.
Nice. So before the pandemic, do you think mental health was spoken about enough?
Definitely not. I think the pandemic has, if you want to take a silver lining from it, it has definitely highlighted the importance of mental health. And that's something I was going to speak about, actually, is just, it's such a pertinent issue right now, because you don't have to suffer from it personally. You will know someone who does. And that's just been exacerbated by lockdown. You know, people can't interact with each other or see their loved ones. So yeah, definitely. I think before lockdown, it wasn't talked about enough. It's obviously a really important issue, but it's at least a positive thing that has come out of lockdown, is that now people are more aware of it and more open about it.
So, like, in terms of the pandemic, how have both of your societies adapted to help people during this difficult time?
Well, our society, Hallam Cheer and Dance, we've really focused on trying to get engagement up. It's quite easy to become isolated, pardon the pun, at the time, but it is really easy to just not get involved and just think, oh well, I'm not going to training this week. So it's really making sure you can provide while you're in a lockdown. So like, we'll do training on Zoom now. We have every social that we possibly can on Zoom, but also having sort of that hopefulness that one day this will all get back to normal. We've even got Hallam Cheer and Dance masks this year, just because why not? And I think it's just finding those little things that, yeah, we might not be able to go into training, but we can get new uniform, we can get new bags, we can just be hopeful and really drive on our personal goals as well. Like, we can't go into the gym, but we can try and get a 5k run as faster this week, because it'll still help in the long run as athletes as we are. And I think it's really important to do that sort of thing at the minute.
Yeah, for us, I mean, it's been difficult because it's such a physical society. There's not much we can do online. We can't digitize SHU karting, but you know, we've taken a step back from the racing, I guess, over lockdown. But what we are doing at the moment is just doing a lot of online socials, you know, getting together, just kind of chilling out on Zoom, really. And, you know, we have a really active group chat, got about 70 members in there. It's just like a big family, really. So we're just, I don't know, we're just chilling out together, basically. That's how we're getting through it.
Nice. So what is something you've learned about mental health that you wish you would have known sooner?
I don't know, I would say just how many people it affects and how many people care about it, and just how many people it touches as an issue. And on top of that, just how subtle it can be. You know, you can know someone for years and not know that it's something that they've struggled with. So I think one thing that, especially doing stuff like this, is good for, is it just gets people talking about it. It gets everyone a little bit more open and kind of normalizes it a little bit, which is something that, you know, the members that came to me, Chris and Cam, really wanted to achieve from this, is just to normalize it just a little bit more. And if we can do that, then we've achieved something.
Yeah, I think as well with like during lockdown, suicides have actually been on a rise as well, which I think is really eye-opening as of like statistics. Is when you see stuff like that happening, it's just realizes, like what James said, people do suffer in silence, and sometimes you can become a bit oblivious to these kind of things when life is normal and everything is so fast-paced. You're at work, you're doing studying, etc., and you don't realize that people around you are so miserable, unfortunately. And it's just about reaching out to those people. Like, if that was you in that position, you might not want to reach out because you don't want people to know that you're sad or upset about certain things. So it's about being that friend for someone and say, oh, are you okay? And even if they said they're all right, but really genuinely asking, are you all right? Because it's really highlighted that issue, especially over this lockdown, and it's not talked about enough, especially in students. And people will just think, I'll just get my work done and I'll be fine, but it is quite draining. It is mentally challenging as well.
Right, so what small steps do you think everyone should be making to kind of, you know, improve their own mental health and each other's, if that makes sense?
Oh, I think that kind of comes down to like the underlying premise of this fundraiser with the 7 days of calm thing, where we're doing one thing a day that makes you happy. It doesn't matter if it's a big thing, a small thing. You know, some people just go for a walk, some people listen to music, some people do like a really big thing with all their friends and organize like a party. So it's really scalable, but the important point is that every day you just need to practice self-care, as I guess the Fashion Society have been putting it with their bingo that they're doing. So yeah, it's just do one thing a day that makes you feel good. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, you just need to do one thing a day that's good for you.
Yeah, and it could just be something just as mundane as going for a walk just without your phone, and just like really taking in the scenery and the world around you, versus like something big. Like, you can say, I'm personally myself quite an introvert, so like I get a bit more anxious actually going for a big party, but I would much rather just spend an hour doing something for myself, i.e. having a nice bath or a shower or going for a walk. And it's like recognizing the root of the issue as well, is if you are a bit upset, why is it? Maybe think about it, try and write it down on paper, and maybe think of something little that you can change, or a habit that you can build that will make you feel better in the long run.
So this is my question. Whilst the increase in conversation around mental health is great at the moment, it can still be very limited. How do you think we can be more open about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a difficult issue to tackle, isn't it? Because the whole issue of mental health is really deeply personal. So how do you, I guess it's a question of how do you get people to engage with the issue openly. I think honestly, I can't answer that question, but on a kind of really thin, kind of shallow level, it is just doing stuff like this that gets people talking about it. As long as the discussion is ongoing, then there's at least some progress.
So would you say that like it's all about breaking down the stigma of mental health.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think just
100%.
openly talking about it more is just going to be helping to make it more accessible to people. I feel like if more people realised that my motto in life is, it might be a bad day, but it's not a bad life. And I think I really stick to that mantra quite well. But doesn't mean to say I don't have bad days now and again. And I think if you openly talk about it to other people, it makes it almost like, oh, well, you're the same as me. It shows that similarities, and once that conversation is open, you can just talk about it more freely. I don't usually talk about it a lot with my friends, but since this fundraising, and also others as well, it just makes you feel a bit more, like Emily said, the stigma is breaking down, but it's kind of like a slow and steady thing. It will happen over time, I do believe, but it will only happen if people engage more.
Definitely. Thank you. You'll still be accepting donations after this 7 days, won't you?
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah.
I can just leave it up, basically. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Very much. This has been amazing.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much for having us as well. It's been lovely to talk to you and see some people from the union for once rather than emailing.
Take
Lovely.
care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you later.